All right, so you want to talk garlic, huh? I gotta say, stuff you sent over has me ready for a deep dive A&D, a good meal. We've got the trusty Wikipedia page fired up, some notes I see about ancient Egypt. Are those recipes?
Maybe a little food for thought before the literal kind.
I like it. But okay, before we both start craving garlic bread, let's break down why this bulb is more than just the tasty topping.
What gets me about garlic is how it walks that line, between everyday and extraordinary. I mean, it's in pantries globally, yet it's got this history woven through cultures, beliefs, even our health. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Totally. I admit I always have some on hand, but never thought much about where it comes from. So Wikipedia tells me it's part of the allium genus. Basically, garlic's got a whole family reunion going on with onions, shallots, leeks.
And chives, don't forget those. Talk about a pungent family gathering, right? Though the real kicker is that this whole fragrant fiesta started in Central Asia, yet now garlic's grown worldwide. It's the plant that truly went global.
And made itself at home, clearly. But speaking of making itself known, that aroma, you gotta wonder, evolutionarily speaking, why is garlic so, well, garlicky?
You've hit on garlic's secret weapon. Those pungent compounds, and bear with me here, are mostly from stuff like allicin, which has sulfur. Think of it as garlic's chemical armor keeping pests and bugs from taking a bite.
So it's like buzz off,
Hmm.
but in a smell, not words. But funny how that works on us humans, because we went all in on garlic, and not just recently either. You flagged some stuff about ancient Egypt that's wild.
It's where garlic's story gets really fascinating. In ancient Egypt, it wasn't just an ingredient, it held cultural weight, maybe even spiritual. I mean, they found garlic in King Tut's tomb.
Wait, hold up garlic in a pharaoh's tomb? Talk about eternal flavor? Seriously, though, what's the meaning there? Afterlife, breath freshener.
Not quite. Ancient Egyptians, they believed in prepping the deceased for the afterlife, right? Food wasn't just fuel, it meant abundance, a necessity for their journey. So Tutankhamun, having garlic buried with him, that says something about its value, even ritually.
Wow, that just adds this whole other layer to something we consider, like a Tuesday night stir-fry ingredient. And it wasn't just the Egyptians who were onto this early on, right?
You're telling me, your Wikipedia article mentions it, the ancient Greeks, the Romans, they were all about garlic in their food, their medicine.
Which reminds me of those notes you had about Egyptians giving garlic to the pyramid builders. Was that for, like, a garlicky energy bar or what?
Probably a bit of both flavor, and they believed it boosted your strength and stamina. This is way before vitamins or anything, but they observed something about garlic's effect on the body.
Makes you think how much ancient knowledge was just paying close attention to nature. But I gotta ask, with Egypt, Greece, Rome, did nobody back then dislike garlic?
It's a good question. Garlic was popular, sure, but some cultures, there's hints they thought that smell meant bad news, like underworld stuff, even bad luck. But yeah, mostly the taste, the whole makes you stronger idea. Garlic won them over.
Makes sense. Like, okay, it's a little funky, but hey, healthy. Which, speaking of, you had some notes on those benefits, and color me curious. It's always garlic's a superfood. But is there science backing that up?
There is, though, like a lot of nutrition stuff, it's not so simple. Remember allicin, garlic's chemical shield. Turns out that and other compounds, they've got some tricks up their sleeve.
Like what? Spill the garlicky goodness.
Well, one, allicin's antimicrobial, naturally, so it can stop some bacteria, fungi from growing. Might be why, for ages, people use garlic for colds, infections, all that.
So maybe our ancestors were onto something with their garlic tea, huh?
Maybe. Then there's the heart stuff. Studies suggest eating garlic might lower blood pressure, even cholesterol. Both good for your ticker. It's like that old stamina boost idea. Maybe there's modern science in there somewhere.
Wild. So, antimicrobial, heart healthy. Any other garlic superpowers we're missing?
Some research says maybe antioxidants, so protecting your cells from damage. Plus, they're looking into anti-inflammatory effects, which that could mean a lot for different health things.
Okay, so not just warding off vampires then, though not sure even super garlic could take on Dracula.
Probably not. But seriously, as promising as all this is, it's not replacing actual medicine. Gotta research more to really nail down garlic's effects.
Right. Garlic's great, but it's a bulb, not a miracle worker.
Exactly. Still, it's pretty amazing, right? Something so ordinary, yet it's captivated us in kitchen stories for, what, thousands of years? Speaking of kitchens, you brought recipes. Those are catching my eye now.
Oh, I noticed. And all this garlic talk has my stomach on high alert. Before we get lost in deliciousness, though, there was one more thing. Sustainability.
Right. Gotta zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
This is where it gets interesting, because how we grow, ship, eat garlic, it all impacts the planet.
So is garlic eco-friendly or kind of the opposite?
Trickier than that. Good news, garlic's easy to grow. Doesn't need tons of water, pesticides like some crops. And because everyone loves it, it can be income for farmers globally, which is good.
So potential for garlic to be like sustainable food system approved. What's the downside then?
Well, like a lot of crops, huge industrial farms, that's where issues pop up. Monoculture, just growing tons of garlic, it wears out the soil, then you need chemicals, fertilizers, and it gets messy.
So it's how it's grown, not just the garlic itself.
Exactly. And we can't forget travel. Shipping garlic all over, that's a carbon footprint. Something to think about when you're at the store choosing which garlic to buy.
Being a smart shopper, basically.
Yeah.
Local when you can, knowing the
Our-
trade-offs.
Nailed it. Every food choice has ripples, garlic included, but if we're aware, we can enjoy the taste, the history, maybe even those health perks. And it's better for everyone, the planet too.
And hey, maybe knowing all that makes a garlicky meal even tastier. No, it's wild how much there is to say about garlic, right? Like, we've covered history, health, even sustainability, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. Garlic's story, it's practically endless. Actually, remember how we talked about garlic's family, the allium bunch? There's one relative we haven't mentioned yet, elephant garlic.
Elephant garlic. Okay, gotta admit, I'm drawing a blank. It's like the supersized version of regular garlic or what?
Size-wise, yeah, spot on. Elephant garlic, it grows these huge bulbs, sometimes bigger than your fist. But here's the kicker. Even though it looks intense, elephant garlic is actually way milder than regular garlic. Closer to a leek, really.
Wow, talk about judging a book by its cover, huh? The gentle giant of the garlic world. So if you're not into that super strong garlic bite, elephant garlic's a good swap.
Totally. It's got this subtler garlicky flavor that's really nice. And the fact that we've got all these different types of garlic, each with its own thing, it
Yeah.
shows how long we've been messing around with this plant.
Yeah.
Growing it, picking the best ones, shaping it into this diverse ingredient.
It's kind of poetic, right? Like, that whole history is inside a clove of garlic you buy at the store. From ancient tombs to our dinner plates, it's a trip. Really shows how food ties us to the past.
Totally. And it's not just history, right? It's culture, what we eat, even personal stuff. I mean, think about it. Garlic's in dishes everywhere. Spicy stir fries, pasta sauces, those warm, cozy soups. It's global.
It's true. Garlic's like a culinary ambassador bringing everyone together.
Exactly. And just like an ambassador, it uses those shared experiences, those flavors, to connect us.
So as we wrap up this garlic deep dive, what's the one thing you hope our listeners remember?
Don't just think of garlic as a seasoning. It represents the power of plants, how clever humans are, and this whole blend of history, culture, food. It's pretty remarkable.
Well said. And on that note, a huge thanks to you, our garlic guru, for geeking out with us today. Hopefully everyone listening has a newfound appreciation for this little bulb that could. So next time you're cooking with garlic, take a second. Breathe in that aroma, taste the flavor, and think about the journey it took to get to your plate. Because in that one clove, there's a whole world just waiting to be explored.